Hey guys, it's Dr. Bickling from Own It Dental. As always, here's my contact information. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, please do hit that thumbs up button, that like button right down below. It only takes you a second and it makes me feel good. And then I like you, you like me, we're one big happy family. So in any case, today we're going to talk about how to do okay dentistry. Now, I know you guys want to do great dentistry, and I don't blame you, but that's not what I'm talking about. So let's dive on into it and see what I'm talking about. All right, so today we're going to talk about okay dentistry. But before we do, I'll tell you a little story. I was out to dinner with my girlfriend, and we went out to this little sushi place, and I got a fortune that said, you have more influence with your ears than you do with your mouth. And anyone who knows me, who has heard my lectures on patient communications, know that I'm absolutely all about this. Oftentimes when I go into dental offices, I hear clients or associates, just talking at patients, informing them, educating them, raising their dental IQ, talk. And then at the end of the day, they have a 25% case acceptance, and they're only producing, $300 per filled hygiene, well below the national average. But one of the things I say is, you don't sell dentistry with your mouth, you sell it with your ears. I've often called these my trust collectors. I use these to collect the patient's trust. I use these to collect information. Because if the patient's talking at me, that shows that they trust me, And so the way I go about doing that is I simply ask them questions to get the information that I need. But like I said, I walk into these doctors' offices and I see this. I see, the doctor is, pointing to an x-ray or something like that on the screen, and the patient's head's all turned around, This is me, by the way. You can see my OS vein is sticking out. That's how uncomfortable this is. But I see this all the time with dentists and associates talking about dentistry. So what I used to teach my associates is sit up in front of the patient. If you're in a place where you can take the mask off, please do. And if the patient's comfortable with that, please do. Sit a comfortable distance apart, maybe 4 to 5 feet apart. Now, if you can see, this is a much more comfortable scenario here. This doctor, you can see, is fully engaged with me. We call this whole body listening. This is something they teach in elementary school, right? Whole body listening. You're using your eyes, keeping eye contact with the patient. Your ears are listening. Your mouth is quiet. You're keeping your hands to yourself. Legs are crossed. You're just in a comfortable position, and you're training your whole body on the patient. I'm not sure why this guy's picking his nose, but in any case, whole body listening, they teach this in elementary schools, so we should, I'm certain our dentists are, smart enough to pick up on this. But once we're doing that, then instead of talking at patients, I simply teach our doctors to ask questions. And here are some questions that you can ask. Here are some examples. So, for example, I see you have a missing tooth. Tell me about that. Question. And then instead of telling them about their options, ask them if they're familiar with their options. Are you familiar with your options? Question. Right? And maybe they say no. Then you ask another question. Well, would you like to know about your options? Question. And so maybe they say, hey, well, I've heard of dental implants. And well, okay, well, what are your thoughts on implants? Question. Right? And whatever they say, is their thoughts, and agree with it, whatever they say. If they say, well, I think implants are really expensive. You go, you're right, they can be expensive. Is that a deal breaker for you? Question. Well, it depends on how much they cost. Well, they could cost upwards of $5,000 or $6,000 each. Is that out of your budget? Question. And if they say yes, that's out of the budget, then you go, well, we have another option. It's called a bridge, and here's an example of it. Are you familiar with it? Question. This one might cost about $3,500, and your insurance might cover half. Does that work for you? Question. And then, all I'm doing is I am giving the patient information on what their options are, but I'm always following it up with a question. And then I simply say, which one of these options works best for you? Question. and I let the patient tell me what works for them, and once they do tell me what works for them, I just go, okay, so this is how we do okay dentistry. You get the patient to tell you what they want or what they're okay with having done, and once they do, you just go, okay. So this is what I mean when I say that your ears have more influence, that you have more influence with your ears than you do with your mouth. Sure, we have to use our mouth to ask some questions and guide the conversation, but we're doing so by asking questions, and we're letting the patients tell us what works for them. And as long as, it's moral, legal, ethical, and all that stuff, all we have to do is go, okay, and you'll have 100% case acceptance every single time. This is not going to come natural to you, so you're going to have to practice. You can use some of these questions that I have on here as examples, and you can think of some of your own. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, here's my contact information. I'm Dr. Bickling, and I'll see you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like it, go to ownitdental.com or click the link above and check out my services. I have dozens of hours of training videos and have negotiated reduced lab fees for all my clients. So if you want to get out of the dental chair and start owning your business, go to ownitdental.com and check out my services, and I'll see you soon.